Welcome back, guys, to Wires Up TV, where great news. The re signing of Andrew Webster till the 2028 season, or the end of the 2028 season, I think is absolutely awesome. And this now sets the Warriors up with everything that's happening at the Warriors to have probably one of the best modern day runs that we've had in our club's history. Um, Securing him for an extra 5 years, in my mind, has pretty much set in stone that the club want to really focus on pathways. They really want to focus on the whole product of getting the team to a level of the Penrith Panthers, which is really, I suppose, the model that we're going after. If you look at clubs across the NRL, Penrith is a model that correlates more with what we're trying to do in terms of we have a big pathways, or we have a big pool to work from. We have all of New Zealand technically. Similar to Penrith, they have all that out west. You know, you look at like a club like Sydney Roosters, they have no junior leagues really. So they're always having to be paying extras to survive. Whereas we're looking at a model that supports us to be able to continually feed through development the starting team to eventually get us to where we pretty much just want to use our own recruitment pathways and develop our players to the level that we can be successful. So it's exciting. I think firstly, based off of his first year, if you think about it, one of the best probably debut coaching for, at least for the Warriors in that sense, seasons, but definitely on an NRL level to transform the club from where it was in the COVID era at least, and even the last 11 years since our first grand final, and then 2018. Just being in the finals from 1 week to make it to a preliminary final against Brisbane, who could have won the grand final, tells us a lot about where we're at and what he was able to achieve. So I'm thinking, this is probably one of the best years, but also the coach and what he was able to do to instill that at the top level of the club. Now he's got a tricky, proposition moving forward. Teams know what we're about. They know we're legit. They know that we are, going to be a decent force moving forward. Now he's going to have to really figure out how to coach, how to get the best out of the squad, how to, sorry, not how to coach, but like how to, with roster changes, succession planning for the likes of Sean and Tohu. What are you going to do now to really make sure that we have a good plan moving forward? Because technically our development pathways really start next season, 2024 season. We've got the Harold mats, we've got the Jersey flag, adding in with the SG ball and the New South Wales Cup. That's a big pool of players to work from, which I think Webby will love. And with his staff, including Cappy and Cameron George, they'll get, a really solid pathways plans going. But that doesn't include next year and 2025, in my view. So there's a few things they have to work and figure out recruitment wise. Josh Curran potentially moving on. Like I said about SJ and Tohu, probably one more year for SJ from all things, in terms of his Instagram, his account saying, blessed to be one more year. That tells me he's probably done after next season. You've seen him work in the media. He's doing commentary for the Kiwis versus Toa Samoa. So there's a natural progression for him to move forward, Same for Tohu. Body's, looking tired, and the work that he's able to do and commit himself to is great. But, as Father Time gets to all of us, what's the plan to replace him? Eden, I think, will be actually okay for the next 2 to 3 years. I have no issue with Eden. But how do you assist Eden to be able to get his job a little bit easier on his body so that you're not wearing him out in a 24 round, 27 round season? So those are some of the areas. You got halves issues. You've got, too many halves almost. You've got too many centers almost and outside backs. How do you, move some of these guys up? There's guys like Kossi knocking on the door. There's guys like Metcalf that's screaming out to be started, where you have Tamari Martin who's there or thereabouts as well. So there's some recruitment, there's some coaching, there's some things he's going to have to work through. But overall, this is a great signing for the club. The best signing, I think. What it now does, it lets other players know that if they're going to come to the Warriors, Andrew Webster is going to be their coach. What happens, say, if you get a Penrith player that has worked under Webby and wants to go and play from? What about the other areas he's been in around Penrith, Tigers, who else? This is a glowing statement for the club, and I think that will carry over at least to the point that players that are currently playing, you're looking at your Mitch Barnett's, say if a Saifidi brother calls him up, say, hey, what's Webby like, mate? Get over here now. That he has that glowing endorsement from the player group, Dylan Walker, etc., to maybe pull some of these guys over from Aussie. But overall, the goal is to turn ourselves into a development club. With Webby there 5 years, and Cameron George said this on SCNZ this morning, is that now parents know that there's a pathway here at the Warriors. I'm sure parents have looked at the Warriors over the years and thought, nah, it's rubbish compared to what the Roosters or the Storm were offering my kid, So there's no doubt over the years the Warriors have fumbled the bag. They've fumbled the ball in terms of how to recruit properly, how to actually get these kids to want to play for the Warriors. We've lost the Joey Manus, we've lost all the quality, all the Kiwi players, pretty much the Kiwis that are playing next week against the Kangaroos, all have been recruited to teams offshore. So now we're trying to fix that. We're trying to resolve that. I even heard that Robbo has bought the some a building or something near to the stadium, which I believe will be a housing for some of the kids coming up from the South Island or whatever it may be. They're starting to get themselves sorted out, and it's credit to Robbo that he's putting on all this money to invest in the club. You know, and but now we're going to see some fruits. Now we're going to see some reward for that investment coming up in the next few years. So I'm really excited. But this clearly is a sign from the club to say, come to the Warriors. There's stability. There's going to be consistency. There's going to be standards of excellence. And we're going to continue to maintain that. Yes, there's going to be difficulty to beat a Penrith or Broncos moving forward. Those two teams look very difficult no matter how you cut it up. I mean, there's not to say that we get a massive prop recruit next year and we still miss out. That's how good those two clubs are looking, or at least Penrith from a sustainability, what they've achieved is insane. But we should be working towards that. Next year's an interesting year, 2024. I think this is a big year. CHT, RTS, I heard are back at preseason doing a bit of work, but it's really about keeping morale high, keeping this team going. I think Webby's one of those coaches that he will never lose the locker room. He will never lose the playing group. Whereas you look at some other coaches, maybe a Todd Payton, a bit too hard on, whatever personalities. Each coach is different. That can wear on people over time. I don't think Webby has that type of personality that will cause conflict or rift amongst the playing group. To get them to where they are, I think right now is sustainable. And his model of coaching, his style, his personality will carry through throughout the years that he's here. And adding into that, the media profile that he's built from being a genuinely good guy and from being a good, sound, astute coach has built up good links for the club within New Zealand media and Aussie media. Now we have those networks, and hopefully with continued success, the way he presents himself in press conferences and the like, it bodes well for us from a media standpoint as well, because media is very important. You have to present us as a place or a product that people want to watch. And I think he's done an amazing job, especially through his press conferences and his work in the media, really giving a clear view of what the Warriors are about, and what he's trying to achieve, and not lying, not nothing that was said that wasn't true, and in many cases. So you feel that as a media personality from that side of things, that you're very proud of what Webby's, him as a person, that he's attracting people to the Warriors brand. He's a big part of the Up the Wires. He's a big part of everything that we're doing. So I'm excited and looking forward to him moving forward. It's great news for the club, and hopefully that sells more memberships. Hopefully that boosts our profile moving forward. But I'm just excited. But anyway, guys, please give a like, share, subscribe, as I'm continuing to do content here in my car. But I just wanted to get the idea out there right now that this is a great move for the club, and onwards and upwards. up the wires.